Everything that James Gunn is doing reminds me of a classic Tom Cruise movie, All the Right Moves.
What's up, everybody? So, some interesting news in the DCU world, and I think it speaks to the smart moves I think James Gunn has been making. Recently, he gave an interview where he talked about Batman of all things. Superman is going to be coming out really soon, and it really kind of gets the DCU going with all the other movies that they have up in the pipeline, including a Clayface movie, Supergirl movie, and a Brave and the Bold movie. And that's where Batman is going to pop up. He's going to have his own thing. And I think, one, that's a smart move. I think when you look at how Marvel has been doing things post Endgame, they've just kind of been churning out some. It's like they're trying to use the same recipe, but with you know, it's like imagine making a dessert with more sugar. It doesn't make it better; it just makes it sweeter, and at some point, it's just going to make you want to throw up. Which a lot of what Marvel has been producing over the years has made me and many other people want to do. But what it's looking like from bird's eye view, dare I say, is that everything has to line up perfectly, and he's taking his time because two things. One, when you see how the previous iteration, the DCEU, was rolled out, it was rushed. It was like, weird tapestry. They're just kind of patching things together because they think they have to catch up to what Marvel was doing at the time. And it just ended up being terrible, terrible stuff. You know, even though like I see some of the things that I enjoyed, even I would have preferred, for example, after Man of Steel, do Man of Steel 2. And slow, like maybe have a Wonder Woman, then a Cyborg movie, then a Aquaman movie, and just kind of let everything kind of slowly play out, just in the way that Marvel's MCU slowly built itself up to the Avengers, team up movies. And DCEU just kind of hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. We gotta catch them up. Look how much money they're making. We have to do the same or better, and it just ended up being terrible material. Movies that people want to forget instead of revisit. And what it looks like to me, what James Gunn is doing is like, all right, everything in its due time. We're really good. Like with Superman, he took a long time. He did chemistry tests with whoever the lead actor, the man who would eventually be Superman, how he would be with Lois Lane, that character, and he really took his time and made sure everything is perfect because things had been just so screwed up royally before he got in the scene that now he's like, all right, let me just do the opposite of what they did. Instead of rush it, let's just make sure that we have quality stories and quality performances before we just put something out there. And with a character like Batman, he needs his own thing. You can't just relegate him to a post-credit scene or to a 5-minute cameo or just a random appearance. Like, yes, I know he showed up in the animated version in Creature Commandos, but this is live action we're talking about. And so you got to give him his own movie, his own thing to carry on his shoulders. And in the future, I don't care how many years it'll take, 5 years until like maybe they try and do a Justice League movie. But I know that however long it'll take, it'll be worth it. And I want to see how James Gunn has been meticulously putting it all together. It's like you got to admire that because there must have been so many people, just trying to push him and like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do this. And I think him and Peter Safran, who is like the business part of the DC studios, these two have a really good thing going on as far as what their strengths are and how they're going to put everything together to just give people what they want, which is just quality movies and quality stories and quality performances. Okay, nobody wants to go to a movie just because it is Superman, just because it is Batman. They want it to have a certain there's a level of there's a standard that all of these characters have to live up to, and you can't just, you know, as they say, you can't slap a pig on a pig. I mean, excuse me, you can't slap if you slap a lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. And so just because you put the Superman logo on it or the Batman logo on it, you think people are just going to show up in droves to watch it. No, it's got to be good. And the way it's looking, I think it is going to be good. Anyways, what about you guys? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button, give me a follow, and I'll see you guys next time.